back at the Mill Point Apartments. This is my 5th YouTube video on YouTube for you guys, and I'm sorry that I couldn't do it on last week because something came up, and things happen, you know, and you just gotta deal with it. And I just want to know, how are you guys this morning? How's everybody doing? Is everybody doing alright? Is everybody taking it easy, taking it day by day? Are you guys having a good time? Are you guys enjoying your video games, your good movies, your wrestling, to those who watch wrestling? And if you are, that's good. And today I'm going to be reviewing 4 items for you guys today, and let's get right into it. My first DVD I'm going to review today is TNA Hard Justice 2009 with Mick Foley on the front of it, and they was in Orlando, Florida at the time, and Jimmy Borash was the announcer. And I have 3 favorite matches on here. The first one is the Steel Asylum #1 Contenders match, which featured 8 TNA superstars and 1 WWE superstar. You had the Pope D'Angelo De Niro, which was of course Elijah Burke, and he wrestled Suicide, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Consequences Creed, Christopher Daniels, and Amazing Red. And this was a new match. They don't do Steel Asylum matches anymore, or Elimination Chamber matches at all. And I was very shocked when I heard that this match was taking place at the pay-per-view. It was just so awesome to see. You had 8 competitors in one cage, and the object of the match was to dominate the match, but also climb down safely, and the winner of that match would fight Samoa Joe for his TNA X Division title at TNA No Surrender. And I was rooting for the Pope D'Angelo De Niro because he was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and he brought the energy to this match. He fought his heart out. He was escaping the cage, and Suicide tried to knock him off, and he performed one of his spectacular moves on him, and down he went on his head. And the Pope D'Angelo De Niro almost won, but at the end of the day, only one could leave the winner, and the winner was Christopher Daniels, and he won that match at the end of the evening. And he also did a speech, and it was powerful. And I never seen somebody with so much energy that this young man would do a speech right after the match. And when he did it, it was so incredible. So what I would encourage you guys to do is, if you like Christopher Daniels, or if you like TNA or the game, just check his matches out on TNAWrestling.com. The second match I have on here that is my favorite is the TNA Legends title match between Mick Foley and Kevin Nash from WWE. And these 2 gentlemen are both retired, and they was both legendary competitors, and I was rooting for Kevin Nash because he brought the energy to this match. I never thought he would do that, but he did. And at the end of the day, Kevin Nash walked away the TNA Legends champion, and it was very cool to see. And this is one spectacular match that will go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. And that's it for that one. And my last match on here is the TNA X Division title, which featured Homicide, Christopher Daniels' friend, and he took on Samoa Joe, the Samoan submission machine, and Taz was his manager at the time, and this was an amazing match to see, because I've always wanted to see another wrestler take on Samoa Joe, because he's just a powerhouse with his submissions. And I was rooting for Homicide, because I really thought he was going to walk away the TNA X Division champion. But he fought his heart out, and at the end of the day, Samoa Joe locked in his submission, and Homicide had no choice but to tap out, and he was bleeding. And this is another match that will definitely go down in the history books of TNA. And if you guys like TNA, check it out on TNAWrestling.com. That's it for this one. Is that good? Okay. My second DVD I'm going to review for you guys is Summerslam, the Complete Anthology, Volume 2. And this happened in 1993, the year I was born. And this one is my favorite match of all time, was when the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, took on Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, at the beginning of the evening. And Howard Finkel was the ring announcer for this match, and he brought the energy to this one, because I never thought he could do it, and he did that night. He poured his heart out into this one, and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, came at Scott Hall with everything, but at the end of the day, Razor Ramon walked away as the winner. And I will never forget watching Ted DiBiase in action. And let's see. And my second favorite match on here was when Bull Nakano took on Andra Blaze for the WWE Women's title, the rematch. And I was rooting for Andra Blaze, because I thought she was going to walk away the new women's champion. But at the end of the day, Bull Nakano retained her women's title. And Andra Blaze was one heck of a competitor in the WWE. And my favorite match, my third favorite match on here, was when Bertha Faye took on Andra Blaze again for the WWE Women's title. And this was an amazing match to see, and there was some singing in the background going on for Bertha Faye, because she was one of my favorites. And who sung her song was the Backstreet Boys, and they brought the energy to her theme song, and it was so cool to see, because those boys can sing. And Bertha and Andra Blaze lost her title to Bertha Faye. Bertha Faye got her, and that was so remarkable to see, ladies and gentlemen. And my last favorite match on here was when there was a fatal four-way match for the World Tag Team Championships, when the Smoking Guns took on the Godwins, the Body Donnas, and the New Rockers. And you could either win by pinfall or submission, and only one team could walk away the new World Tag Team Champions. And at the end, the Rockers fought their hearts out, and at the end of the day, the Godwins walked away the new World Tag Team Champions. And that was a great match to see. So I would encourage all of you guys to do is, if you like SummerSlam, or if you like Bertha Faye or Bull Nakano or Andra Blaze or either one of them, check out their amazing matches on WWE.com. Okay, Okay, my third DVD I'm gonna review for you guys this afternoon is UFC 83, and this happened in 2008, and they was in Montreal, Quebec, Canada at the time. And I have three favorite matches on here. My first favorite match is when Jonathan Goulet took on Hiroshi Hironaka, 3 rounds, and I was rooting for Hiroshi Hironaka because I thought he was going to bring the energy to this other guy, Jonathan Goulet, but he rocked him in the first round. But in round 2, Jonathan Goulet, out of nowhere, uppercutted him with his right hand, and he was knocked out. And Big John McCarthy had no choice but to stop the match, and Bruce Buffer was in charge that night. And Jonathan the Road Warrior Goulet walked away victorious, ladies and gentlemen. And my second favorite match on here was when Cain Velasquez took on Brad Morris, 3 rounds again. And Herb Dean was the referee for that match. And I was rooting for Brad Morris because he had the charisma, he had the energy, and he was a wrestler. And Cain Velasquez was just a kickboxer. And it was just an incredible match to see. And Brad Morris came at Cain Velasquez with every punch he had in the bag. But in round 2, Cain Velasquez knocked out Brad Morris, and he had blood on his mouth. And Herb Dean had to stop the match, and they had to bring in doctors for the check on Brad Morris. And Cain Velasquez walked away the victor that night. And my last favorite match on here was when Matt the Terror Serra took on George Rush St. Pierre for the UFC title, 5 rounds, and Bruce Buffer was really the announcer for that match. This young man brought the energy to this main event, and he had everybody going nuts. And I thought for a minute that Matt the Terror Serra was gonna still walk away the UFC champion. He fought his heart out against George Rush St. Pierre. He came at this guy with everything he had, all his kickboxing, all his karate moves, all his wrestling. But at the end of the day, in round 4, George Rush St. Pierre knocked out Matt the Terror Serra, and he walked away the new UFC World Heavyweight Champion. And it was just so awesome to see these two gentlemen put on one heck of a show, ladies and gentlemen. And what I would encourage you guys to do is, if you like UFC, or you like the UFC game, or or even you like the UFC soundtrack, check out the stuff at UFC.com. And my last item I'm gonna review for you guys today is Tekken 6. And I bought this game from Rite Aid across the street, and it has 40 characters on it, and this was an incredible game to play, and it had so much energy to it. And the Tekken announcer, he brought the energy to it. He would announce how many rounds to go, and who was fighting, and that was so awesome to hear. I never thought that he would bring so much energy to this game, and when he did, that just blew me away. That just caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. And I thank the Tekken announcer for that, because without him, there wouldn't be no Tekken game or the Tekken movies. And the company was Namco Games.com, and my favorite characters on the game was Martial Law. And the reason I liked Martial Law is because he brought so much energy to this karate game, and he reminded me of Bruce Lee when he was doing karate in his movies. and Bruce Lee passed away, but martial law stepped in his footsteps, and he brought the energy to what Bruce Lee did. And martial law put on one heck of a show on the Karate Game. And my second favorite character on here is Raven, because of his fighting style, and he always would carry a sword with him every time he had to fight somebody. And the energy that this gentleman brought to this game, I will never forget playing him. And my last favorite character on here is King the Jaguar. He brought so much energy to this game. The wrestling, the fighting, karate style behind it, and his growl. And that was so awesome to see. And I never thought I would see him do that in the game. That caught me off guard. That just blew me away. I was like, wow. And so I would really encourage you guys to check out Tekken. If you like the Tekken karate games or the Tekken movies, please check these out at namecodegames.com. And that is it. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed my reviews, and stay tuned for next week to see what I'll be reviewing. And I just want to say, in closing, please have an awesome weekend and enjoy yourself, and please continue to enjoy life, because days can go by real quick and you never know what's going to happen. And please remember that God keeps us alive, and also remember to always keep Him number one in your life, because without God you can't do nothing. And have an awesome weekend, ladies and gentlemen.